Let's get to the man of the hour, which is number 11, Josh Pearson. Second baseman / right fielder / left fielder / professional hitter / whatever you want him to be, it seems like.
/ everything.
/ everything,
yeah,
right?
/ everything.
That's kind of where baseball is going, right? You go look at, we were just talking off air about the Dodgers, and we're talking about Mookie Betts, who's the best player in baseball, hitting just under 400, 6 homers. He's playing shortstop, came up as a second baseman, played some second for the Dodgers, then he played right, then he played center.
You could do it on the team with the highest payroll, too.
Yeah, with the highest payroll. So they're moving their best player, well, second best player, I guess, after Ohtani, around because they value the versatility. How is that transition? I know we talked to you earlier in the year when it was still kind of the beginning of the season. You're still kind of getting your feet wet with it. But now you're right in the middle of the season, right in the middle of the SEC season. How's that transition been? How have you liked the versatility side of it? And do you think that's going to help you in the long run?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it because, normally I go to practice and I know I'm going to do the same outfield drills every single day, something like that. But now I got to do second base stuff too, and
it's more fun.
Yeah, it's
infield,
a lot more fun.
I always used to watch the infielders do their drills. Like, man, that looks so much more fun. Then you talk to them, and you're like, no, it's exhausting as shit.
And now, if I'm not in the lineup, normally it would just be like if I see an outfielder limping, I start moving around.
Yeah,
now it's like if anybody on the field starts limping, I'm gonna get up, start touching my toes, and do some squats.
Are you limited?
Did you pitch at all in high school?
In 8th grade, probably.
How was it?
I didn't throw very hard. But,
throw strikes?
Yeah, I did throw strikes.
Yeah, I did not. I could not.
Lord, are you trying to say something?
There's one more spot for you.
Second, are you limited to just second and the outfielder? Hey, throw me at third base. I'll figure it out there if I need to.
I can figure it out. I've done a few ground balls there. Like, if I had to play there in a game, I could field the position about as good as you'd expect, but I could field the ground ball and throw it to first.
That's the big thing. Catch it and throw it. You obviously started off not great, right? Yeah. Not as y'all had intended to start off.
They started off great, the SEC.
I'm talking about SEC, right? In SEC play, you've gotten through the midway point. You're at 5 weeks in. You're 3-12, right? Obviously, there's no hiding it. There's no, tiptoeing around it. You haven't started off the way I'd wanted to, but you have 15 games left. What's the message in the clubhouse right now? How is the attitude and personality of the team and Jay moving forward?
Yeah, we all know that the season is super far from being over. And, if we win 15 SEC games, then we're right back to hosting a super regional at the box. So that's just kind of the mentality in the locker room, things like that. Like, we carry ourselves at practice like we're the number one team in the country, and that's how we're going to approach everything from now on. And, just can't get down. Like, it is what it is right now. We're at the point we are because of how we've played on the field, and we can get to where we want to be by how we play on the field. So it's just kind of all up to us, and we want to stay positive.
Now, there's always the outside noise of being able to see kind of all the stuff going on. Coaches go about it different ways, and some coaches want you to see it, some coaches don't want you to see it. How has Jay gone about the start of y'all or the first half of the SEC season when it comes to, hey, this is where we are and what we need to do, or is it singular focus really on game by game, pitch by pitch, however you want to say it, and let's see if we can find our way back to where we want to be?
Yeah, we really take it pitch by pitch. That's what we try to do. That's what we practice all the time, is just taking everything one pitch at a time. We got big words in our locker room that say one pitch at a time, and so we can't really get away from that. Like, if we start looking at the long run, then you start missing what's in front of you at that day, and we just got to know to take it one pitch at a time all the time.
The locker room, dude. You go through a skid, you go through a slide, you can kind of start seeing some people here and there maybe needing to be refocused, maybe needing to be brought back in. Right now, with where y'all are and how things are, where's the locker room right now? Like, where do you feel like everyone is, and how close are y'all to breaking out and getting where you want to be?
We all have a lot of faith in ourselves, and we all know that whoever goes out there is going to get the job done. We have full trust in every single person in there, and you could put any person on the field, and you're going to have the whole dugout support. You're going to have the coaches' support, everything like that. And we're just trying to stay super positive. We don't have our phones in the locker room, so we play a lot of Uno in the locker room. Yeah, so it kind of.
You could bring the court jester in there, and he can kind of do something.
I'm telling you, I could do something.
Yeah, Uno helps a lot. It helps pass time in the locker room.
No doubt. And honestly, and I said this whenever you said the no cell phones thing. I was like, honestly, the guys are gonna like hang out more, right?
Yeah.
You're hanging out, but when you're hanging out on the phone, you're not really,
Yeah.
there. Like that's a different thing. That's a good thing, I think.
So
You
Uno's
wanna-
been the big game. Has there been
Yeah.
any other big games that's
Any other card
come
games
out?
that y'all do?
We played blackjack a little bit, but
Oh, who's the
Oh.
dealer?
Oh,
Shohei.
real money, fake money.
Shohei.
we just used the Uno cards as chips. So,
Y'all rotate the dealer, because obviously dealers get the
yeah.
advantage.
I mean, we really just started this like last week.
Oh, nice.
You
So
gotta get some real dollars.
I've been the dealer.
Y'all play War,
Nah, I don't even know
High
what
card.
that is.
Battle.
Battle,
Get some coins.
War,
in there or
Battle,
Yeah.
AC Deucey. You know what AC Deucey is?
No, I don't think so.
That can get dangerous.
AC Deucey. I mean, they're not playing. They're not playing for real money.
Yeah.
Maybe $1, maybe. That still can get up there.
Play for Uno cards.
Yeah, play for
Yeah.
Uno cards. Play for like someone's gonna take care of lunch or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's important to me.
Yeah.
Right. Like we used to have. I say back in the day, like, we had cell phones and like we had
Yeah.
all this stuff, but we would have ping pong tournaments. They also have the ping pong table. I
Yeah.
never heard of it.
Same one.
We still have, they
Wow.
Need to
Yeah.
get a
They
new one.
need to get a new one.
Yeah.
That was a shot.
Yeah.
Same one.
Yeah.
Same one.
We used to have ping pong tournaments. That, they used to have like.
By the way, he was saying we're old.
NCAA I know.
Yeah, that was.
If you
Yeah,
didn't catch
we
that,
definitely need.
that
No,
was
we
a
definitely
subtle
we
shot.
do. We do need one. We do need a new one. They had that since '09. The thing's a
Really?
dinosaur.
Yeah,
Right, when
it's
we
like
first-
curved at the edges, so
Yeah,
you hit
they-
it right
That's
there.
for Mikey
Or
losing one
recover
game.
it. They
Yeah.
can recover it.
Yeah.
Make it fine.
I do. If I need to make an NIL contribution, I do have one in the garage that
Yeah,
is
but I don't
not
think
being used.
It's not as heavy duty as the one that they have in there.
It's professional.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the LSU on it.
Oh no!
You know what I
I
mean?
mean, we could get that done.
Yeah, we'll work
Get
on it.
Gordon.
But like that stuff's important.
Yeah.
Right. Like that, I think to me builds chemistry
Yeah, for
and
sure.
allows y'all to kind of like play for each other. Is that kind of the message at this point? Like, hey, dude, like can't get any worse. Like if we want to get to where we need to be, because you've been here for a couple of years, you have some veteran guys on the team, but you have a lot of new guys, a lot of young guys. Has that been kind of the message to those guys to try to get them on board, right? Because sometimes that's the hardest thing, right?
Yeah.
Is to get some of the new guys on board with the old guys program, and just kind of wondering how y'all are going about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of just been our messages. Like I was saying earlier, taking it one pitch at a time and kind of bringing the young guys along because it's not at all the start that they were hoping for their career at LSU. And just knowing that, like, it's baseball and, like, a lot of our games have been decided we're one big swing away from we're, like, being 12-3, basically. So
Right.
it's like we're really close. We're right there. And if we just know that as a team, then that's whenever we turn around and start playing how we want to play.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's kind of where I wanted to shift this thing to. People really don't realize like the difference between winning and losing and how small it is sometimes. So you got a lot of these younger guys who have not played in this conference or who has not played at this level of ball. Are y'all in the beginning, whenever it is, have y'all been able, as being the older guys on the team, to be able to like point out these little bitty situations that have been game swings, and for those guys, and it doesn't always necessarily turn into immediate impact and the game's change, right? Because you have to kind of go through some stuff to get to the other side of the stuff, right? But have y'all been able to point these instances throughout the game that are very, very, very swing instances and kind of either dictate whether you win or lose right there to some of these younger kids?
Yeah, Coach does a really good job of kind of letting us know that a game is decided by 6 or 7 pitches throughout the course of the game. And, I mean, we talk about things after the game, even when we win, that kind of turn, like the magic moment, kind of turn the point of the game. And, I mean, I think we got swept by Tennessee, but I think every game we had the tying run at the plate at some point in the game.
Right.
And it's just we're right there, and we just got to know to stay within ourselves and play.
Because those younger kids, like I don't care how much travel ball and or high school ball you play, like you just don't realize and you don't see it at this level with this kind of competition. So to them, like they don't. I feel like it takes a while for you to really be like, wow, that's actually
Learn how
the
to
turning
win.
point of the game.
Yeah,
like that
like-
actually we need to. When I get to the spot next time, bear down and don't miss it because it may not come back again.
Yeah, because the margins are so much smaller in the SEC, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not that much better than the worst team, but you're that much better at those 7 or 8 pitches, right? And those moments usually go your way. I like to refer to it, if you're basketball fans, like when coaches talk about the little things, they talk about the 50-50 balls, hey, who's getting the 50-50 balls or 50-50 calls? So if a ball's on the ground, it's a loose ball. How many times are we coming up with those? To me, that's the same type of thing, right? The 50-50 balls in baseball are extremely important as well, and right now they're going, the opposite way, right? Part of that is self-inflicted, or some part of that is, okay, hey, we're not doing the things we're going to do early in the game so that whenever those moments happen, they get magnified a little bit. But one of those, I guess, pain points has been, because you mentioned it, when you are playing Tennessee, every game you'll have the tying run at the plate, right? And you just, at some point, it's going to, happen to where y'all do drive them in. Hitting with runners in scoring position, obviously that is a pain point, right? That is something that I'm sure Jay's been hammering home with y'all. I know y'all see it on Twitter, y'all see it in the media, and sometimes that can wear on you. What have y'all done? Have y'all done anything, if y'all have done anything, to try to get better at that? Because I know at the end of the day, it's one or two guys are going to do it in the big moments, and all of a sudden it's just going to exhale and everybody's going to do it, right? But has there's been something that y'all trying to do to expedite that process? Yeah,
we just got to know to slow the game down. I mean, if you got everybody on our team with nobody on, nobody out, and told them to hit a ground ball to second or shortstop, just about everybody could do it every time you wanted them to. And it's just knowing that that's the same exact approach you could take going up there with bases loaded, no outs, or runners at second and third, one out, things like that. And just practicing things like that, like slowing down the game and putting us in high-pressure situations at practice where you don't get it done. You might.
How does he do that? How does he?
A couple triangles every once in a while. But
is he yelling at y'all, trying to
Oh, he doesn't raise his voice. He's
because Manera used to not necessarily raise his voice, but in those pressure situations, he would have someone else throwing BP and he'd be in your ear behind to try to distract you a little bit. That was his way of adding to the pressure.
In the fall, we do the pitchers.
And then Jared put a helmet on that's too small.
He'd be in your ear because he knew that shit didn't bother me. So I wasn't listening to him.
He'd be in my ear. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What'd y'all do?
The pitchers would line up and just say whatever they wanted to the hitters, get in their head. And we had a machine throwing wet balls, so it's going everywhere.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
real balls.
Yeah.
Not the what's those softballs that now, the new ones?
Cat heads?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
What are
Cat heads?
What?
That's what we call them.
No. These weren't around a thing when we were coming up. Yeah. This is new. These brand new. They come out same speed, but you hit them and they don't
go anywhere.
They're mush.
They don't hurt.
Yeah, they're like foam kind of.
Yeah, they're foam, but they're not going to come out like a parachute ball and frisbee and come all over the place.
So if you miss the barrel, it ain't just absolutely ringing your hands and stuff.
Yeah. Oof, that's bad. Yeah. And I guess the other thing, we talked about the offensive side and scoring runs, right? Driving guys in. The other side of it, too, is when you do score runs, the pitching staff, has to get back in the dugout, right? We've talked about that a lot. I think that's a thing if you follow baseball. That's normal. Yeah. Hey, you score runs. After you score a run, the guys on the mound need to shut it down so you go back in so you have that momentum. Hadn't felt like we've been able to do that so far this year. A lot of walks, a lot of around the zones, behind in counts. I think all of that stuff kind of plays together, and it's called complementary baseball. Yeah. Lloyd talked about it on Monday. That the big thing that we haven't seen is complementary baseball. The bullpen pitched pretty well this past weekend. Couldn't hit with runners in scoring positions. Sometimes it's opposite. I guess you can tell me if I'm right on this, but the things that y'all are doing behind the scenes, not necessarily on the field, I think it's that continuity that helps build that on the field, because if a pitcher or a hitter wants to perform better for the other guys that they're close to, they're going to play better subconsciously. Do y'all feel that? Do y'all feel like the pressure of hey, we got to really start playing complementary baseball?
I agree. I feel like it's not as much pressure as we just are excited to play for one another, and maybe that's not how it's been. It's kind of we've been feeling the pressure a little bit, and now we can kind of just go and play free because, like you were saying earlier, there's nothing to lose really. So we can go out there, play free every day, and just do our thing, do what we do at practice every single day.
When you go through a slide, whether it's individually or as a team, there's usually a natural progression of this thing, and it's usually the disbelief part of it that starts it, and then there's that middle part where you're just straight up frustrated as hell.
Yeah.
Because nothing's going right. And then there's that last part of it where you start to come out of it on the other side where it's you just take a big breath because you're just like, all right, it can't get any worse from here. Do you feel like collectively as a team, like you can feel that's where maybe we are and we could be getting to the other side of this thing?
Yeah, I feel like we're right there. Like we're a couple, like you were saying, I feel like we're a couple big plays in the games from just everybody taking a big exhale and just starting to go right from there and attacking each game. And not really just letting the punch come to us and just going out there and delivering the punch and then not letting up at all. And I feel like that's our goal going into this weekend.
Have y'all talked about that at all? Has it ever come to like a head where it's like, fellas, this can't get much worse? Like you talked about like the pressure and feeling the moment. At some point you get to a point where if you feel this much pressure, what does it matter what we do? So if it's always going to feel like, I call it like, it's like what call it Murphy's Law, where it's like everything that can go wrong will go wrong. At some point you get to the other side of it where you're like, fuck it, let's go play baseball. Yeah. Like, does it feel like you're getting to that point, especially after you weren't done any favors by the SEC schedule, so now that you can look ahead, I know it's still Missouri and it's still SEC baseball, but with the start that you had, does it feel like, all right, this is where we can actually turn the page?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Not like you were saying earlier, it's like the best teams in the SEC are like right here to the rest of the teams in the SEC, right. So we got to just attack every single weekend.
Y'all are feasting on each other.
Yeah, exactly. So, in the fall, I'm facing great pitchers every single day, and it's like it prepared us for the SEC, and we just got to know that that's what we got to do is we got to go out there and play like there's nobody in the stands when we're at Missouri and take it one pitch at a time and just attack the game.
Let me ask you this. So you're going to Missouri, second straight road game. You haven't been great on the road in the SEC. I think y'all are 1-8 in conference in road games. You're going to a Missouri team that swept Florida. Florida's kind of going through their own little deal right now. What do they do, right? Like what, as a team, what do they do that y'all have been talking about, like that, something that y'all have to be ready for when y'all get to Missouri?
We're kind of we have the Thursday practice tomorrow, and that's more the day that we attack all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But this past week, we just worked on slowing down and playing the game. Like, doesn't really matter who's in the other dugout. You got to play the game the same way.
More focusing on you than the other team. I think that's important.
Yeah,
too.
For sure.
But this question is for you.
Oh, Lord.
This is for you.
What you got?
So, Jeff Watson.
Yes, sir.
Part of the G team.
Yeah.
The wrangler of the guys and the girls and the athletes.
Yeah.
The expert on NIL. The Wally Pip.
Oh.
That's right.
The Wally Pip to Ramsey Barfield.
Yeah. Does even know what that means?
Well, I made sure in the group text, I said Wally Pip. Nobody said anything about it, so I don't know if he knows who Wally Pip is.
I think he does.
Well, if it was on the bar, it wouldn't matter. He didn't take it anyway.
Oh,
here we go.
I'm usually the one that brings
It's a lawyer.
But the NCAA announced a new rule in regards to transfers, and it affects the NIL.
Yeah.
This has happened. This was announced a while back, but it was officially approved, I believe, by the NCAA a couple of days ago. Can you explain exactly what is happening?
Yeah. So, give the history is you couldn't do the second transfer without sitting out unless you filed for a waiver and exception and got approved. That went to a federal court judge who said that was a violation. Well, now what happened was the NCAA came and they created a rule and a new regulation that allows free transfers now, no matter what, many as you want. But they did get a little bit of what they wanted in there, which was academic progress. So you got to be making academic progress towards.
What does that mean?
Academic progress towards a degree.
Yeah. What is that actually?
Yeah,
So,
could you have a degree and then say, okay, I'm gonna transfer, but change my degree, and then say, oh, I'm gonna get a master's. Now I'm gonna get my PhD.
Or could you transfer to something where you have maybe more credits in because it's not as strenuous? Like, what does that actually mean?
So you're at one school and you're making progress, and then you get to another school and they don't have what you had before. You got to continue progressing towards some type of degree.
Yeah, graduating.
You got to be academically good standing. You can't have any suspensions or trouble, anything like that. So you get in trouble with Bama, you can't transfer to LSU, and then that goes away. You're not eligible for a transfer.
Okay.
So as long as you're academic, now what's
now
going to happen?
Were these already rules or are these new rules?
These are brand new.
So these rules
Be
of, hey,
tomorrow.
you can't transfer if you're not in good standing academically. In the past, you've been able to do that. You have been able to do that.
So if you go
Like before this ruling.
if you go pass, you couldn't do 2 transfers.
Right.
NCAA came in and said that is not allowed.
Right.
So then there was no rules or any requirements that if you wanted to transfer
Got
a
it.
bunch of times. So the NCAA is coming in like, we need to make a rule and do some things that are beneficial to the student athlete. So let's make sure they're academically progressing, they're going towards a degree, they're in good standing, and if you do that, you're eligible for your transfers. The other thing, so what they're going to do, so that's tomorrow, it gets ratified or whatever, and then next week is the final, making it the rule. And they're doing it right now because the transfer portal is open until April 30th, which we talked about earlier.
Portal number 2.
And those guys
Portal window number
need
2.
to know what rules they're
Porta potty.
abiding by. Yeah, because when the federal judge made that rule, there were no rules in place anymore.
Right.
NCAA smart
Are
basically
they?
adopts.
Are they?
It's smart for them to adopt the federal judge's rule
Oh, it's about time.
and come in and say we're going to allow these transfers, but we want academic progress. What's going to happen now is they're going to create a board to watch athletes to make sure that they are academically progressing.
I'm sure that's not gonna have any.
That's going to be fun.
In your mind, like in the early stages of it, what do you think the actual weight that this new rule will have on kind of the second transfer portal and how it'll go and how it'll play out?
It's going to be the wild, wild west even more because now
Wilder West.
the wild
The wildest
west.
of Westes.
There's
Like
no
Will
limits
Smith.
on going from SEC
Yeah.
to SEC or, I mean, it's free transfer as long as you're academically eligible and you're in good standing. You can jump. You
Well,
can
now-
play
So basically, like for a
5
football
schools in
player,
5 years.
I can show up. I can have a bad year. I can go to the spring training, go to the spring practice, not play as much as like say, yep, I think I'm out, boys.
Well,
I'm
that's
not
kind of
staying
what
here.
Kai Preen did.
Yeah.
Exactly what he did. Lloyd got the touchdown in the spring game.
Kai Preen out, transfer, put his name in the portal. But Lloyd asked the question, right? You said you transfer from Alabama to LSU,
Yeah.
right? When the window opened initially, when they said you can transfer twice, you can transfer anywhere but
Inside,
inside
your
the
conference.
conference. That rule is no longer like you can still transfer
There are
inside the
no
conference.
limits on the new transfer
Wow.
at the language at the NCAA. Which this goes hand in hand with another thing that just happened with the federal rulings about the inducement and offering
Right,
people
you
stuff.
talked
So
about
before, you would get in the transfer portal
You'll induce
and you did not know your NIL
Yeah, now you can do that. It's legal.
opportunities. Now you get in the transfer portal,
We can give you how much money? X
a
amount.
booster can come and say, "Hey, Jared, $100,000 if you go to LSU."
And it's not a
Completely illegal.
yeah, exactly.
Completely legal.
Can I ask a dumb question?
Sure, of course.
What
Always.
if you, with the way that the rules are now, what is stopping somebody from going from a team from almost week to week? Like, is that
The portal.
The portal.
Well, you can only have 2 transfers.
You got
There's
two
only two
spots.
portal
It's not,
spots.
it's not, it used to be, before this rule was unlimited, right? Before they said you can have 2 transfers, because
no? Now it's not, that's what I'm saying. It's
It was in
unlimited,
limbo, and now since they came out with the ruling, it's no longer in limbo.
but
Only 2 transfers.
You have to do it in the windows.
right. But also, wouldn't you say that could be challenged in the court of law? Wouldn't that be if somebody offered me the opportunity to make more money, then that would be challenged in court, saying that why would you be able to stop me from leaving a job on
Well,
Monday
you can have non-competes.
and I get offered a better job on Tuesday?
You can have non-competes.
I don't know if they have those. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, but if you're going to compare it to jobs,
Yeah,
That's
that's
my
what I'm
point.
saying, dude.
Yeah.
Do you see a world where that happens, where they have like a non-compete in your NIL deal?
That doesn't
Because
affect
who
the
would sign that?
institutions because the schools aren't doing NIL.
Right,
Right.
that's
The
what I'm saying.
boosters. So, but I'll tell you the second thing that the NCAA is putting on the board, which is going to get ratified and go,
Josh,
is
close
that
your
the
ears.
schools can now help the students get NIL deals. They can't pay, but they can now be involved. So you're going to have all these schools with departments
Why would they want to pay people?
that they're going to be able to get with their boosters.
right.
And now they're going to say, "Hey, Jared, let me introduce you to Gordon McKernan," and they're going to be able to push
got
the
it.
NIL deals from the schools. Still can't pay it, but they can get in there and help them.
They can facilitate.
They can
They
facilitate.
can sit on the other side of the table while the
They can-
They can be the president of
Exactly.
business development.
They can set the lunch.
You know,
Wow.
yeah. They're just introducing.
Yeah.
They're the business development people now.
So now you can have kids play
So
5
school's
schools,
legit the middleman.
5 years.
School's a consultant now.
They're the broker.
That's wild. So let me ask you this. You may not know the answer to this. We didn't talk about this off air. I didn't give you a heads up. So I know in like the Dartmouth deal where they unionized.
Yeah.
Right. What's the update on that? Is there any update on that? Or is
That's
it
going to be
still-
on appeal for so many years that there won't be any decision on that.
Oh, so it's
forever.
not going to happen anytime soon.
No.
But don't they have another one that's going on right now in California?
A lot of people are going to do it to try to get it through to see.
I was told the other day the California one
California.
it holds more weight than the one in Dartmouth. Is what I was told. I don't know why.
The one that's still held up in the courts in California right now, right?
and Dartmouth, both of them.
No, I'm asking you saying that one holds more weight
Yeah,
than the Dartmouth
yeah.
one. Okay.
Yeah, I
Like
don't know
the
why. it
unionized-
would.
I don't know either. I don't know
Maybe
the
they did it
details of
better.
it. That does say maybe they
They
structured
had
it better.
lawyers involved instead of a bunch of students.
Yeah, or maybe it's the Dartmouth. You're having Dartmouth as a school do it. Those athletes,
yeah,
Never seen a
versus
game.
you know. So,
USC.
Yeah,
It's a
right.
pretty smart
UCLA,
bunch
yeah.
to kind of unionize and get
Yeah,
together.
right. But like the school that you're unionizing against, I don't think really gives a shit about sports.
They do. Have you
I
seen
just
that alumni?
don't think. Dartmouth is the proud home of Brad Ausmus.
Damn it.
Did you know that?
I was about to look up Dartmouth alumni and see if I could see even
There's
one name I'd
no, they have 2 or
recognize.
3 big leaguers. You can go look. There's some other ones you would know, but Brad Ausmus was a big leaguer. Was a big leaguer. Is a big league coach now.
Yeah,
Was a manager.
sure. Oh, he's
I
not.
don't know if he's a manager anyway. He's a coach somewhere though. He went to Dartmouth, but yeah, the NIL it's always going to be changing. It's going to be crazy. It's always going to be a bunch of it now. Thank you for giving us the updates as you always do. You've been very. I don't think Ramsey knows this. You know this.
No, he didn't.
No, he doesn't. But Josh, back to you. I want to ask you the question on some of this because you were a young guy, right?
Yeah.
Very recently on this team. You have some young guys that y'all are gonna have to rely to make jumps, right? Like you'll have good veteran guys. You have guys who have some experience. But you also have a lot of young guys that are gonna need to step up. One of those guys who we've been talking a lot about, who I feel like is starting to play well is Ashton Larson.
Yeah.
Can you talk about him? You smile.
Yeah.
Smile a little bit. Can you
Yeah.
talk about him? How has he been so far with this squad?
Ashton's a great guy. We mess with him a lot in the locker room, but
Mr. Freshman, huh?
yeah, he is a freshman, but it's he's awesome. He's a great kid. I'm super happy to see him hitting well. Like we all knew that he was capable of it. It's just
Yeah.
he really needed time to get out there, and now he's out there and he's showing everybody what he can do. And
He's a better defender, I think, than people thought he
Yeah.
was because he's made some really nice plays out there and right.
oh yeah, he was playing Gold Glove defense in Tennessee. He
Yeah.
was playing really good. So we're excited. He's going to come a long way. I think he's going to be a great player at LSU for 3 years. And
Lloyd, you got anything? You done?
Yeah.
You good? No, I
yeah,
I want to get him on the show. I've been going back and forth with him, but he is he's
Yeah.
pretty special. I think he's been good. You need that, right?
Yeah.
You need to have some young guys get some experience. Another young guy that we've been talking about that we're hoping to see a little bit more of is Cade Anderson. Obviously, you're not the manager, you're not the coach, you're not making these decisions, but you played behind him
yeah.
this year. How is playing behind him? Seems like he works fast, throws strikes, goes after guys. He's another freshman that you're going to have to count on, I think, during the stretch run. How has he been as a teammate and then playing behind him?
Yeah, he's a super smart kid. I feel like not a lot of people really would know that about him, but he's really smart. Like when he's not pitching, he's sitting down in the end of the dugout with the coaches, just picking their brains on things. And I mean, like you were saying, he works fast and he fills up the zone and he has really good stuff. So those kind of all work really well with each other.
And as a defender,
Yeah.
how important is that for a guy? When you have a guy on the mound that is working fast but also throwing strikes,
Yeah.
like how much better is that to play behind?
Yeah, it feels like you're only on your feet for like 5 minutes and then you got to go back in the dugout and sit down. And he does a great job of doing that. He gets high air. He has a really good ride fastball, so he gets high air. So it's really easy plays, a lot of weak contact and things like that. So it makes it easy to play defense behind him. So
Going on the road to Missouri this weekend.
Hey, it's gonna be a little chilly in Missouri.
Yeah.
Just looking
Yeah.
at
Maybe
it.
a
I
little
saw
more.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, the lows 39 on Sunday and
Yeah.
37 on Saturday. The highs 58 on Saturday.
Goddamn groundhog.
What the hell?
Yeah.
44 is a low on Friday. What the hell? Why is it
Yeah.
always like that?
I don't
It's
know.
Missouri.
Yeah.
Going there this weekend, getting a series
Pack your
win
sleeves.
and or better. What would that do for the team, the morale of the team, where y'all are mentally, and how How much will that help y'all springboarding y'all forward?
Yeah, I think it'll help a lot. Just kind of because we know what we're capable of doing, and just kind of putting it all together on the field
And seeing
being able to get on a plane and come back with a series win
With a lot of
or
Uno
better.
cards and,
Yeah,
all that
exactly.
stuff.
It would feel great being able to come back home for a midweek game next week, knowing that we showed everybody what we could do.
You think that'll lift the no cell phone ban?
I don't know.
Is there a goal? Is it like major
Just
league?
wondering. I don't know.
I
Maybe
really
he's
don't know.
mentioned.
Yeah,
okay,
you pull it off
this is what you got to do to get
Yeah.
the phone back. I don't know
Yeah.
if he's mentioned it or not. I don't know.
He just
Yeah.
puts it in front of him like a carrot on the
You get a
official line.
phone. You get a
Like,
phone.
does he
You
just
don't
walk
get
in?
a
Does he
phone.
just walk in the clubhouse with his? Be like, this is what you guys gonna be doing. Just let you know.
They're not supposed to be on theirs either, so we try to hold them to that. So.
They're not supposed to be on theirs either. I mean, I guess that's hard for them because
Organization-wide rule.
Recruiting.
Miss V, anybody, nobody.
Ms. V, well, I don't even
Get
know.
off
Does
the
Ms. V
phone.
have a cell phone?
I don't know.
She needs one to call
I
back
don't
to
know.
London.
I think I called Miss V on her phone earlier today, so might have
Desk phone.
Yeah.
So we had we had a guy who played with us. I'm not gonna name names. Ms. V's from like Denham Springs or right. Somewhere, I don't know somewhere. She may not be, but she's from Louisiana.
Explain who Miss V is first.
Ms. V is a secretary.
Yeah.
She's been there through 4 coaches.
Most
Skip.
national championships
She's
ever.
held a lot of trophies.
Yeah, she's held a lot of
She's
trophies.
She's held a
Yeah.
lot of trophies here.
Skip, Smoke, Paul, and now Jay. And so she knows, she's been there. Super nice lady, does her job. She's from Louisiana. It seems like she has an accent from a different
Country.
area, right? Not Louisiana, right? We had a guy on our team legit ask what part of London she was from. Or what part of England she was
This was
from.
like a year ago. No, I'm just kidding.
And we're like, what the hell you mean? She goes, yeah, like she's got like an English accent. I'm like, no, she doesn't. She's not from England. And so that's the running joke. That's why I made that.
Yeah.
I think you could
Yeah.
narrow that list down pretty quickly.
No, I'll
Really?
be surprised.
Okay.
You'd be surprised. We know. I mean, obviously, the guys who played with him, know. But, I mean, from
It's
London,
on brand.
it's tough.
If
It's
you-
on brand.
If you know him well,
No
enough,
doubt.
it's on brand.
You're going to get your sleeves back out of storage. I'd imagine y'all probably put them up. And
Yeah.
now you got to take them back out. It's going to be a little chilly.
Yeah.
Was that breaking news for you just now, or did you know?
No.
No,
Jay's a big
we
weather
got a
guy.
text earlier about being sure to bring your cold weather gear because it was going to be chilly.
Yeah, that's tough. Not supposed to rain, which is nice. It's just be a little chilly, which, maybe that'll be a good thing. Who knows? Before we let y'all go, obviously y'all are going to Missouri. We talked about what to expect. Y'all are going to go through all of that planning stuff really tomorrow. But from y'all, right? From a team, from an organization, what can we expect as fans and followers of LSU? What can we expect to see from y'all this weekend?
Yeah, we're going to go out there and compete, play one pitch at a time, and not play like how our record shows. We're going to go out there and play like we're the number 1 seed in the country, and that's how we're going to play for the rest of the year.
I love it. I can't wait to see it. SEC Network on Friday. You're gonna have
Him on
be in the
SEC
booth.
now.
You'll be in the booth on
Oh,
SEC
really?
now.
I'm trying to get a dub.
Not
I
in-
need
not
to
in-
grab
on
one
the
of y'all
game,
after
but
the
yeah.
game.
He does studio stuff now.
Yeah,
SEC
but we'll do
Network.
a post game, so I need one
Hey,
of
yeah,
the boys from
yeah,
Friday.
Y'all do
Right
something.
now.
Y'all
Awesome.
do something good so you can
Yeah.
get the post game
I'll try
interview
one
with
of
him.
those, yeah.
Say I told you about it on Wednesday.
Yeah,
on Mik'd
if I
Up.
play good, it's because
Let's do it.
That's
because
it.
of
Let's
that.
do it.
Yeah.
Well, man, good luck this weekend. We're looking forward to it. Obviously,
Thank
it's
you.
on the SEC Network, national TV for everybody to
Consume.
see y'all turn this thing around. We're looking forward to it. We have all the confidence in the world. And good luck. Stay warm this weekend. Appreciate you and the G team for always supporting us and bringing in the guys and giving us all the insight on the NIL stuff, because without you, Lloyd would be lost.
That's
Very
true.
nice. Lost.
I'm working on that degree.
You can read, just got to read the right stuff.
Yeah, I just can't write.
Just got to read the right stuff. So we appreciate y'all. Enjoy the rest of y'all's night. Y'all can hang, y'all can leave, y'all can do whatever. We're just going to be shooting the shit. So all good.
Awesome.
Appreciate you.